नमस्कार साथियों, आपका स्वागत है ग्रामीण रामजी में। यह एक ऐसा मंच है जहां हम समाज, ज्ञान और जागरूकता से जुड़े महत्वपूर्ण विषयों को सरल, स्पष्ट और सच्चाई के साथ प्रस्तुत करते हैं। हमारा उद्देश्य केवल जानकारी देना नहीं है, बल्कि आपको जागरूक बनाना है ताकि आप अपने जीवन में सही और समझदारी भरे निर्णय ले सकें। ग्रामीण रामजी के माध्यम से हम उन विषयों पर चर्चा करते हैं जो हमारे समाज, हमारी सोच और हमारे भविष्य से सीधे जुड़े होते हैं। हमारा प्रयास है कि हर व्यक्ति तक सही और स्पष्ट जानकारी पहुंचे ताकि एक जागरूक और सशक्त समाज का निर्माण हो सके। मैं हूं रामजी मीना और आइए आज के इस महत्वपूर्ण विषय की शुरुआत करते हैं।
All right, let's talk about power. Not the kind you see in big government buildings, but something much closer to home. We're going to uncover the incredible power that's sitting right there in your hands, in your village. This is all about understanding your rights and how you, yes you, can directly shape the future of your community.
So, let me start by asking you a question. Where does the real decision-making power in your village actually come from? The answer might be a lot closer than you think, and honestly, it's the key to unlocking real development and accountability.
You see, for the longest time, village councils, or panchayats, they existed, but they often didn't have a lot of real teeth, you know? They had pretty limited power. But then, everything changed. In 1993, this thing called the 73rd Constitutional Amendment came along, and it was a total game changer. And I'm not talking about some minor update. This was a full-on revolution for local government.
The goal was actually pretty simple, but really profound. It was all about moving power away from these far-off government offices and putting it directly into the hands of the people. This amendment gave panchayats real constitutional protection, turning them into a genuine, empowered level of government.
So, back to my question. What is the real parliament of your village? Well, I can tell you it's not some small committee meeting behind closed doors. The answer is so much bigger, and it absolutely includes you.
The answer is the Gram Sabha. Now, this is the idea that changes everything. The Gram Sabha isn't an elected group of people. It is literally the entire adult population of the village. This is the bedrock, the very foundation of the whole system.
That's right. If you are a registered voter in your village and you're 18 years old or older, you are automatically a member of the Gram Sabha. You don't have to get elected or appointed or anything. You are already part of the most powerful body in your village. Simple as that.
And this right here is the most important concept to really let sink in. Just like the parliament in the capital makes laws for the whole country, the Gram Sabha is the ultimate legislative body for the village. It is the place where your voice is meant to be heard and where the real decisions get made. And look, this isn't just some symbolic thing, okay? We're talking about real, actual power. As a member, you get to approve the development plans for your village. You help decide who gets the benefits from government schemes. And this is the big one. You have the right to question your elected leaders, to hold them accountable for every single thing they do and every rupee they spend.
Okay, so the Gram Sabha is the ultimate authority. But who actually carries out those decisions day to day? Well, that's where the people you elect come into the picture.
You generally elect two main types of leaders. First, there's the Sarpanch, who's the head of the Panchayat. They're elected by the whole village to oversee all the work. Then you have the Ward Panch. This person is elected just by the people in their specific neighborhood or ward to be their direct voice inside the Panchayat.
And here is the most crucial point to remember. These leaders are not the bosses, they are public servants. Their entire job is to carry out the will of the Gram Sabha, which is your will. They are accountable to you. So, who can actually become one of these public servants? And how does the system make sure that everyone, and I mean everyone, gets a fair shot at leading? Let's take a quick look at the rules, which are designed to be super simple and inclusive.
The requirements are really straightforward. If you're an Indian citizen, at least 21 years old, a registered voter there, and you don't have any legal issues holding you back, you can run for election. The barrier to entry is kept low on purpose, to encourage as many people as possible to step up.
And this really shows how deep the commitment to inclusion goes. The 73rd Amendment made it mandatory that at least 1/3 of all panchayat seats in leadership positions must be reserved for women. This is huge. It guarantees their voice is right at the center of decision-making.
And that spirit of inclusion doesn't stop there.
Seats are also reserved for people from scheduled caste and scheduled tribe communities based on their population. This ensures that the leadership actually looks like the village it represents.
Okay, so let's pull all these pieces together now. We've talked about the power of the Gram Sabha and the role of the Panchayat. But how does all this theory actually translate into getting work done in your village?
The whole process is basically a perfect circle that starts and ends with you. First, the Gram Sabha, that's you, identifies a need, say a new well or a paved road. The Panchayat then creates a formal proposal and gets the budget sorted. Once the work starts, it's your right and your duty to monitor it, to make sure it's done right and the quality is good. You have power at every single stage.
So, after all of this, it really boils down to one simple but really powerful question for you. This isn't just some lesson from a textbook, right? This is your power, your right. Knowing about it, that's the first step, and a huge one. But the next step, well, that's participating. So, let me ask you, when is your chance to be the real parliament of your village?
साथियों, आशा है आज की यह जानकारी आपके लिए उपयोगी और सोचने योग्य रही होगी। हमारा उद्देश्य केवल जानकारी देना नहीं, बल्कि आपको जागरूक बनाना है ताकि आप अपने जीवन में सही और समझदारी भरे निर्णय ले सकें। अगर आपको यह वीडियो उपयोगी लगा हो तो इसे लाइक करें, शेयर करें ताकि यह जानकारी और लोगों तक पहुंच सके। और ऐसे ही जागरूकता से जुड़े महत्वपूर्ण विषयों को देखने के लिए ग्रामीण रामजी पॉडकास्ट को सब्सक्राइब जरूर करें। मैं हूं रामजी मीना। आपके समय और विश्वास के लिए हृदय से धन्यवाद। जुड़े रहें ग्रामीण रामजी के साथ, जहां हम बात करते हैं सच, जागरूकता और वास्तविक ज्ञान की। धन्यवाद।